Number 1. Use towering in place of very tall. Very tall means something or someone of great or more than usual height, and towering means extremely tall. Example: Burj Khalifa is a towering building. Thus, towering means extremely tall and can be used in place of very tall. Number 2. Use stingy in place of very mean. Very mean means someone who doesn't want to spend money, and stingy means a close-fisted person who doesn't spend money. Example: John's boss is a stingy fellow. Thus, stingy means close-fisted and can be used in place of very mean. Number 3. Use perplexed in place of very confused. Very confused means someone who is unable to understand or think clearly, and perplexed means of a person unable to think clearly, logically, and decisively. Example: The students were completely perplexed after hearing the questions. Thus, perplexed means very confused. Number 4. Use perilous in place of very risky. Very risky means full of the possibility of danger, failure, or loss, and perilous means extremely dangerous or risky. Example: The journey John undertook last year was quite perilous. Thus, perilous means extremely dangerous and can be used instead of very risky. Number 5. Use minuscule in place of very small. Very small means of a size less than usual, and minuscule means extremely small or tiny. Example: John had run out of food. He ate only 2 minuscule pieces of cake. Thus, minuscule means extremely small and can be used instead of very small. Number 6. Use mind-numbing in place of very boring. Very boring means something not interesting, and mind-numbing means extremely boring. Example: It was such a mind-numbing film that I nearly fell asleep during it. Thus, mind-numbing means extremely dull and can be used instead of very boring. Number 7. Use deafening in place of very noisy. Very noisy means making a lot of noise, and deafening means making so much noise as to make it impossible to hear anything else. Example: The singer got a deafening applause from the audience. Thus, deafening means extremely noisy and can be used instead of very noisy. Number 8. Use gleaming in place of very shiny. So very shiny means of a surface reflecting light because it's very clean, and gleaming means very clean or shining. Example: Those white shoes are gleaming. Thus, gleaming means very bright and clean and can be used in place of very shiny. Number 9. Use huge in place of very large. Very large means something of a great size, extent, or capacity, and huge means something extremely large or enormous. Example: Burj Khalifa is a huge building. Thus, huge means extremely great size and can be used instead of very large. Number 10. Use obese in place of very fat. Very fat means a person or animal having excessive flesh, and obese means extremely fat. Example: John has grown obese. Thus, obese means overweight and can be used instead of very fat. Finally, we encourage you to continue till you complete this series. Similarly, we encourage you to share such informative content with your friends and relatives. We extend a hearty welcome to you for being part of the super fraternity.